Alright everybody, welcome back to the fourth tutorial presented by Code Cyclone. Today we're going to expand what we did in Kismet last time, and we're going to dive into some Unreal Matinee. Now Unreal Matinee is kind of like Unreal's, or the UDK's way of doing smooth, effortless transitions for objects and many other things that are pretty cinematic. People walking around, that kind of stuff. But today we're going to use it to make our door look a little more believable. And instead of just being able to walk through it, let's get it actually to move out of our way. So what we're going to do is we're going to integrate the two ideas of Kismet and Matinee. So let's go ahead and open up our Unreal Kismet. And as you can see, I've erased everything except our touch event. And what I want to do is right click that is, and hit a new Matinee. And you're going to see all of this stuff. And this is just a big fancy way of saying we are going to have some type of matinee sequence. So the touched is going to go to play, and the untouched is going to go to reverse. So when it is touched, it's going to tell the matinee event to play itself, so that way it opens up, and the trigger volume touch, when it's untouched, we want it to reverse, so it closes the door. Alright, so that's all good. So let's go ahead and double click on this big square here. And as you can see, we got an Unreal Matinee door opening up. We can go ahead and close out of the Kismet main sequence thing. We don't have to see that right now. That's not important. What is important though is go ahead and X out of that, the Unreal Matinee window, and right click on the static meshes. Now I've already done this, but I'll go ahead and do it again just to make sure. You're going to want to go right click on it, convert to mover, and do that for both of them. Now a static mesh on its own is just that, it's static. It can't move, it doesn't really do much. That's why we couldn't set location or something like that inside Kismet originally. We had to actually change its collision because it can't move, it's stuck. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this idea, turn it into an interrupt actor, which is something that actually can have physics applied to it. So it can move, it can be, tossed or picked up or whatever. So we got those. Now, over here, let's go back to Open Unreal Matinee, which is next to the Kismet icon. It's the little movie snapboard, whatever they call that thing. So we're going to open it up. And let's take our first piece here. Now let's go ahead, and what we're going to do here is make a movement group. So we have inside here, we have highlighted the first door, and we're going to right click inside Unreal Matinee, create new empty group, and let's call this left door movement. Alright, that gives us a group. Now let's go ahead and right click on that and do a new movement track. Now what this does is it has a timeline, just like Windows Movie Maker or any other system that makes some type of film. You're going to have a timeline, which is this here. And at certain intervals in that time frame, or keyframes if you're familiar with Flash, things are going to happen. So let's make this door, actually first let's expand this a little bit. We'll go to a full 2 seconds. That's a nice easy transition. Let's go all the way out to there, and we're going to press enter. And what that's going to do is set up our first keyframe, and you can see it down here, it says adjust key movement. So what we're going to do is click and drag out of the way, and you can see this yellow line here pointing this way is going. Now what we can do is if we bring this back here, you can actually see it transition as we drag that timeline towards the 2 second marker. It's pretty cool, right? But let's finish this up. So let's go ahead and move this to this side now, just so you can see what I'm doing. Straighten that up a little. Alright, there we go. Go ahead and select the other door, and make sure it's a mover as well. Right click in here, new folder group. You guys should know the rest by now. Oop, what am I thinking? Right door movement. Alright. Oh, I did make a folder, didn't I? Yes, I'm sure. We want a new empty group. Right door movement. Okay. And then of course, we're going to add a new movement track. Now, one thing you want to note is you want to make sure that you toggle off this guy. Matinee can be kind of temperamental when you're trying to use it, so just a good word of thumb, or word of mouth that is, make sure you always have only one active. While you're making them, of course, when you're running them it's fine, but when you're making it, sometimes it'll yell at you that you only need one, so just a good saying. Let's go ahead and drag this back over to 2 seconds, or roughly 2 seconds, as close as we can get to it anyways, and press enter, and that makes our second keyframe here. Let's go ahead and drag this guy outside. There we go. And now if we drag this, it gives us a nice little view. Let's go ahead and expand this a little bit further so that you guys can see what's actually going on here. So let's go ahead and re-enable our first track. And let's loop that guy. See how nice that looks? Very nice, very smooth transition. Alright, but enough showing off, so let's go ahead and close that. Go back into our Kismet, and as you can see, Kismet was nice enough to set up our groups and the variables they act on, and set up our Matinee data all by itself. That is the real power of the UDK, is all the tools working together simultaneously and seamlessly, so you never really have to do a whole lot of work. You know, I've done work in a lot of engines like Torque and stuff, and they have systems similar, but nothing is really this fluent as Torque. And I actually have more history with Torque, so I'm more of a Torque fan than UDK, but I have to say UDK gets the bag on this one, just because of how easy it is to pick up and use right out of the box. But anyways, so let's close that out, and let's see what we've got working here. So let's go ahead and right-click and play from here. Now, of course, lighting needs to be rebuilt, but no problem. So we walk forward. And what's that? Our door's open for us. It's pretty sweet, right? We walk out. There we go. Just took a second. And they close. We get close again. Oh, that's right. We have to get real close. I forgot. And you can see it's pretty sweet, right? And when we leave the volume, it takes a second, but it's eventually going to close. There we are. See how cool that is? That is truly awesome. It may not seem like much to you guys now, but trust me, little things like this are what build in a game. You know, it's one door now, but, you know, it could be something as crazy as rotating and moving a door, like a big door to like a boss or something. You know, those little edges and little victories make your game what it is. So, hope you guys had fun, toy around with this, you know, really get used to moving some things, you know, expand it, maybe make a little thing over here on the side of our level. Of course, you may want to rebuild the lighting so you can see over here and add a light. Maybe make some moving platforms so that you can jump on and try to get to the top of that area. You know, just toy around with it. Learn. A lot of this stuff, I mean, you can watch these videos, but if you don't actually, you know, expand and try and learn on your own, you're never going to learn anything. I can't teach you everything. But hopefully you use these to learn and to get a good understanding of what should be going on. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time.